Welcome to the channel, guys. So I've got some really good news today. The Postmaster General David Steiner has just sat down in a congressional hearing, and he has the left, the Democrats, collectively losing their minds. He's basically saying that Trump's executive order, that they are not going to deliver ballots if the states don't abide by the order. I'm going to dig into it. I'd appreciate if you'd like, share, and subscribe. It's a huge boost to the channel, and it doesn't cost anything, so I'd appreciate it. I've got a couple videos for you, and then I got some information. This won't be a real long video, but believe me, this is exploding on Capitol Hill. Let's take a look at this first video here.
A political organization. We, as you said, I think you quite aptly said, we deliver mail. That's what we do. We deliver mail. And that's what ballots are. Ballots are mail. Now, they are a special kind of mail, obviously. They need special care. And so years ago, we recommended what we call Kit 600. In Kit 600, the fundamental premises of Kit 600 is a unique barcode and a unique envelope. That allows us to move those ballots more efficiently, more securely. That is what our proposed rules suggest, is that we have unique barcode, unique envelope. And that is not something that is new. That's something that's been being used by states throughout the country on both sides of the political spectrum. So California has followed it, Oregon has followed it, Arizona has followed it, Florida has followed it, among many other states. And so, to me, it's not a political question. It's a question of how do we most efficiently and securely move ballots. We've been recommending this for many years. All this does is make it a requirement.
A requirement that the left doesn't want, because if they have to actually only accept citizens and put them on the list where they can be cross-referenced and checked, well, that pretty much puts their fraud scheme in real jeopardy. And notice that when Donald Trump's, administration is in, and he sends this executive order out and says, look, we're going to verify that only citizens are voting, that they showed an ID, that they have the residency they say they have, simple things that all Americans basically agree on, that the left is literally losing their mind. Let me give you a little bit more of this, because this is really neat.
So yes or no, if a state refuses to turn their absentee voter list over to the federal government, will the Postal Service still mail their ballots under this proposal rule?
Under our proposed regulation, no. We would tell the state that we need the manifest in order to, look, what we're asking for. I mean,
that's the answer. You'd tell no. So the proposed rule basically coerces states to conform to these new requirements and hand over their absentee voter rolls, or face the consequences of not being able to vote by mail. Some states, that's all they do. Oregon is completely vote by mail. If they say, no, we control the list, the states control the list, we're not going to give it.
Oregon has followed Kit 600 since the day they started voting by mail.
This is a different issue. This will be a lot different issue. You're telling these states either give the federal government this information, trust the federal government, trust the Trump administration. We'll take good care of these. And if you don't do it, you can't mail absentee ballots. You're going to make a decision that people cannot vote by mail. That's unacceptable.
Well, this is a stupid argument right here, because the federal government is the one who issues social security numbers, and they're in charge. What do you mean? All you're doing as a state is letting them know which citizens are voting and requesting a mail-in ballot. Remember that.
All that does, Senator, is make sure that we match the ballots that a state believes they're sending out to what actually gets sent out, right? And so,
and heads are exploding. So that's David Steiner. He's testifying regarding the new rule, and under his proposed rule, the USPS would not deliver mail-in ballots to states, as he just said, that don't provide absentee voter lists to the feds. He confirmed during the Senate Homeland Security Committee hearing the proposed policy is reportedly related to Executive Order 14399. Did a video about that like a month ago. And it's called Ensuring Citizenship Verification and Integrity in Elections. Postal Service would reportedly implement a system, which you see they've had it for a long time, that would verify outgoing mail-in ballots against a federally approved list. If a state does not share its voter lists, USPS will not process or deliver that state's mail-in ballot. So if this is the rule, this hurts the cheat. And that's why you're going to see, all the powers of darkness fight against something that upwards of 85% of the American people want. The voter list requirement, the proposed rule reportedly requires state election officials to submit a list of all voters receiving mail-in or absentee ballots to the federal government 30 days before the distribution begins, okay, of the voter ballots before they're sent out. So not 30 days before the election, but 30 days before those absentee or mail-in ballots are sent. The executive order is reported to mandate that DHS compile a nationwide list of adult citizens to cross-reference with voter eligibility. The rule was reportedly proposed by USPS May 29, 2026, but it's not yet fully finalized or implemented for the 2026 midterms. And basically what has to happen is they have some type of a board at USPS, and they talk about this, and there's still until July 2nd time for public discourse where you can send in questions or comments about this and people can talk about it, but then they'll decide. They're not going to decide against it. This is going to happen. And look at, some people might say, yeah, but look at what USPS did in 2020 and all the ballots sitting in the garbage, and we found ballots here and there. And you're right. This gives more protection to us against those kind of things, because if individual carriers do things like that, what'll happen is the algorithm will catch them. Understand that barcode not only protects the individual's vote and the feds and the state, making sure that the right person is voting, but it protects, or it, how do I say it? It guarantees that the mail carrier isn't going to do anything weird, because I've looked at this and the algorithm will catch them if they're throwing away ballots, because they know how many they pick up, where they pick them up, when they pick them up. So this will put an end to a lot of the tomfoolery that was going on that we all saw in 2020. Thanks for being here, guys. Thought you'd like to hear this update. Heads are exploding on the left. Means we're having a good day. God bless. Have a wonderful evening.